Hello there. Looking at the news today, you do have to wonder how much longer these Brexit trade negotiations can possibly go on. Firstly, please subscribe and like this video to give my channel a boost. And I'm always uploading new content, so please do check back daily. And a big thanks to my Patreon and PayPal supporters. Grinding to an inevitable halt seems to be the only way we can describe how these Brexit trade talks are progressing. And anyone with eyes could see that would be the outcome once the two sides' chief negotiators, Lord Frost and Michel Barnier, faced off on opposite sides of the table. And that basically was because the two of them had political mandates that contain no points of intersection where the significant issues lie. And now we have Barnier and Frost once again sitting in a room, both trying to square circles, with neither side winning to compromise an inch. So I don't expect the final update to vary much from the outcomes of the previous 7 sets of talks. They're also waiting for the two co-chairs of the Brexit Joint Committee, which are the UK's Cabinet Minister Michael Gove and the EU's Commission Vice President Maros Sefcovic, who are there to sort out differences like this, to get through their rushed lunchtime emergency meeting and report back. And this has all been brought to a head by the publication of the UK Internal Market Bill, which when enacted is designed to ensure the smooth running of the UK economy after the 31st of December. As has become apparent in the last couple of days, this bill contains clauses that would give scope for the UK government to unilaterally override certain parts of the withdrawal agreement treaty it has signed with the European Union. And that overriding could constitute a breach of the treaty, something the UK government has admitted and something the EU and its supporters are trumpeting from the hilltops. Now, Sefcovic is expected to tell Michael Gove that the withdrawal agreement is not up for negotiation and that the EU expects full compliance. Or the EU Commission will commence legal proceedings against the UK for breach of the good faith obligations involved, and that, I read, could be done before the bill is even enacted. According to internal EU Commission advice, the ECJ could impose fines against the UK, as well as allowing the EU to suspend trade or other obligations it has. I wonder if they'll also prevent the City of London from being used to lend the EU the money it needs to salvage the Eurozone after the pandemic. The initial reports from the talks refer to Gove's verbosity, that concerns held by Brussels had not been cleared and that the meeting did nothing to resolve the EU's worries, together with EU demands that the Internal Market Bill be stripped of the offending articles by the end of the month or face fines and the talks collapsing. But the UK government decided it had to respond once it came to light that the EU had a plan that in the event of a no-deal outcome to the talks, it would stop the UK exporting foodstuffs into the EU single market, something that would cut off Northern Ireland from the rest of the UK where trade is concerned. A worrying development, as at present I believe that most food in Northern Ireland comes from the rest of the UK. With the Prime Minister Boris Johnson saying in the House of Commons, "My job is to uphold the integrity of the UK, but also to protect the Northern Irish peace process and the Good Friday Agreement. To do that, we need a legal safety net to protect our country against extreme or irrational interpretations of the protocol that could lead to a border down the Irish Sea in a way that I believe, and I think members around the House believe, would be prejudicial to the interests of the Good Friday Agreement and prejudicial to the interests of peace in our country. That has to be our priority." And exactly the right thing to do where one side is attempting to weaponise a peace accord, something I'm sure Gove will point out during his meeting. And the EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen had probably already inserted a rather sharp needle into the mess when she appointed Fine Gael MEP Mairead McGuinness as the new Irish Commissioner 2 days ago. And McGuinness will have responsibility for financial stability, financial services and the Capital Markets Union, so coming up against London. But the EU thinks Boris is just trying to crash the talks. Now, I've said that lawfare will be resumed against Brexit due to this, and we now have one Ian Blackford of the SNP refusing to discount such action being pursued. Now, the EU and its supporters in the UK are pointing the finger of blame at the UK government. But the claim from the Brexiteer side is that the EU has not negotiated in good faith. In Article 184 of the withdrawal agreement it says, "The Union and the United Kingdom shall use their best endeavours in good faith and in full respect of their respective legal orders, to take the necessary steps to negotiate expeditiously the agreements governing their future relationship referred to in the Political Declaration of the 17th of October 2019, and to conduct the relevant procedures for the ratification or conclusion of those agreements with a view to ensuring that those agreements apply to the extent possible as from the end of the transition period." But a paper by the Centre for Brexit Policy says that the key elements of the withdrawal agreement, including the Northern Ireland Protocol, are incompatible with UK sovereignty if continued into the future, and should operate merely as a stepping stone to an end-of-year long-term relationship between the UK and the EU. The EU has seriously breached the agreement, even as it stands, since it has been structurally unable to engage in meaningful negotiations for what is now the majority of the intended negotiating period towards a sovereign outcome for the UK. The UK therefore needs to prevail on the EU to agree to remove the sovereignty incompliant elements of the withdrawal agreement and the protocol, or be ready to repudiate the arrangement. And the Express reports that former Dexum Minister, Tory MP David Jones, told it that now it is absolutely clear that the negotiations have not been carried out in that manner. The EU is insisting on two red lines, that is fisheries and the state aid level playing field, before they will talk about anything else. That is not really using best endeavours, and certainly not in my view negotiating in good faith. Furthermore, it manifestly does not respect British sovereignty because it is seeking to impose EU regulations on the UK by effectively leaving the UK to be subject to EU regulations by virtue of the level playing field. And he went on to say that, and it also wants the UK state aid policy to be subject to EU direction. I think that has been a problem. And now that the government is recognising they are not negotiating as they had hoped using best endeavours, and it is putting in place the necessary domestic arrangements in the hope they can conclude something with the EU in the future meetings. But there are also those that argue the opposite, of course. Now, the government has put in place plans to get the Internal Market Bill through the House of Commons as quickly as possible, with a view, one supposes, of getting it quickly onto the statute books. But before that, it has to go through the House of Lords too. And what's the betting they do all they can to delay its passage and fill it full of amendments, hoping to slow it down sufficiently to give the EU time to try and legally squash it. And all this, from the lead up to the referendum itself, and all that has transpired since, should be a warning to any country that hands over or shares its sovereignty with others. The stakes for us are incredibly high, and we should do all in our power to wrest back full control. In the past, people achieved this through force of arms. But the UK is using the pen, paper and domestic law. And one day we will all be very thankful that they did. Anyway, if you want to hear more from me, please don't forget to subscribe and also press that little bell or you won't get any notifications. And if you want to see more of me, buy a mug with my mug on it by following the link in the descriptions box below and support me on Patreon or PayPal. So what do you think about all of this? Please share and comment, and thank you for watching.